Get your reactions ready. The live portion of the show will begin in just a moment.
That's pulled to third. DJ fields it. Long throw. Rizzo!
That's what I was noticing right there.
Swing and a miss. Domingo Germán. Again. Broken back. Shortstop Taylor will not come home. And in comes Bowers. JD left field. Back goes Calhoun. We're tied. That ball hammered to left center field. Anthony Volpe, it's gone.
It is the final game of a long West Coast trip as the Yankees take on the Los Angeles Dodgers in the rubber match. Aaron Judge was out of the lineup after his ridiculous circus catch, and Domingo Germán was looking to pick up another victory. My recap and your reactions coming up next. This is NYY Recaps.
Welcome to Yankee Stadium.
Just when they thought I was out, they pull me back in.
All right. Or in honor of Aaron Judge and his Kool-Aid Man thing yesterday. Oh, yeah. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back. Good night for the Yankees. Great night for Anthony Volpe. Big night for Domingo Germán. Yankees have now won 2 out of 3 in Seattle and 2 out of 3 in Los Angeles. It's going to be a good flight home. Junior Caroma says Germán was dealing. He was absolutely filthy tonight, but it was not all sunshine and rainbows. In case you missed it, the never-ending parade of injured list people, I guess, gets continued tonight. Nestor Cortez was placed on the IL with, or he's going to be placed on the IL with shoulder issues. Aaron Boone says he's probably going to miss 2 starts at least. So, remember for pitchers, it's going to be 15 days. So he's going to be out. Also, Judge was out of the lineup with a sore foot. If you watch the replay of when he slammed into the wall last night, he kind of limped away at first. And there's a big concrete slab below the gate that he banged his foot on. So at least 2 days off is the right move. You know that when he woke up today, he was sore. You know that it was barking. And for him to stay out of the lineup, it had to really be barking because the Yankees wanted this game. They needed this game. And, this was a chance to polish off the road trip on national TV. They did it without Judge, so kudos. But get well soon, big guy. I don't know if he's had x-rays yet. I'm assuming that they'll have x-rays, pretty soon if they haven't had them already. And we'll find out hopefully on Tuesday before the game whether or not he's going to be out. But yeah, this road trip feels like a nice checkpoint to take the temperature on how the fan base feels. So let me know in the chat, and we will talk about it when we get done with the recap. But I want to get to this recap because this was one of the more fun games. It was quick. It was efficient. Yankees scored both with the home run and without the home run, which is not always the case and has not always been the case in this series. Look, they faced some outstanding pitchers on this road trip, and to come away with 4 out of 6, that's damn good. They faced George Kirby in Seattle, Bobby Miller tonight. I mean, these are some young guns with 100-mile-an-hour fastballs, wipe-out breaking pitches, and the Yankees still got it done. Yankees threatened right away in the first inning, and you thought maybe they would, get to the rookie. They had 2 men on base, but DJ struck out, and there's been a lot of people talking about this. DJ's strikeout numbers are through the roof. Struck out 3 more times tonight. He was 0 for 4. He is hitting .239. So keep your eye on that. That is important to watch, whether or not he's hurt or not. Ian with the Super Dono reminder, hold your Super Donos at least until I'm done with the recap, or I may miss them. Whatever he hits, he destroys. And that applies to stadiums also. Appreciate that, Ian. So both teams were quiet early. Both starting pitchers were outstanding. Domingo Germán was very efficient. He threw first pitch strikes to the first 11 hitters. He had just 47 pitches through 4. On the Designated Spitters podcast before the game, I casually said, if you look up in the third inning and he's at 32 pitches, you know he's having a good night because he's efficient when he's good. And I did that. I looked up to see how many pitches he had. He had 32 in the third inning, so it was weird. Just like the universe lined up for a second. Bobby Miller wasn't quite as efficient, but his stuff was overpowering. He ended up going 6 innings, giving up just 1 hit, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. Yankees' first hit was in the top of the 5th, a hard line drive single from Mr. Volpe, 107.5 miles an hour off the bat. He had a good night. Yankees broke through in the top of the 7th after Bobby Miller came out of the game. Jake Bauers, who had 2 home runs yesterday, singled through the left side and then picked up an infield single. IKF picked up an infield single, and Gratterall kind of threw it away. And Higashioka brought in a run with a broken bat ground out, and that put the Yankees on the board. Not exciting, but it got the job done. Herman came out in the 7th, and he got the first 2 hitters, and then he served up a solo home run to J.D. Martinez to tie the game at 1. Worst part was that it was an 0-2 pitch, and if it's 0-2, that's the worst possible outcome for a pitcher. At 0-2, you almost want to just throw it in the dirt and waste it. You know, you don't want to give up a hit, let alone a home run on an 0-2 pitch. But only mistake of the game, you'll take it. Domingo pitched a hell of a game, 6 2/3 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. He's got a 3.69 ERA on the season, but an even more impressive 0.95 whip, so less than a base runner per inning. He's been extremely efficient. Home runs have been an issue, but really nice job tonight by Domingo. Hobby Fran, Dodger fan tuning in. Appreciate that. Welcome to the channel. Look, I got to say, Domingo impressed me since coming back from the suspension list, because there was all these questions, can he get it done without the sticky stuff? And now he's going through extra precautions. The Yankees are checking him in the dugout before he goes out there, and he's looked really good. Last time out, he picked up a win. Tonight, he didn't get a win, I don't believe, but he pitched pretty well. Rizzo walked and Stanton scorched a double in the top of the 8th to put 2 runners in scoring position with 1 out. And then Oswaldo Cabrera pinch hit and picked up an RBI ground out to make it 2-1. Contact, baby. Smart baseball. And look, hats off to Oswaldo because, he came back from AAA. He wasn't down there very long. He had to be on a lot of flights. He could have sulked, but I believe that it was kind of a wake-up call that he could be sent down. And maybe it's kind of like when you get pulled over by the cops and you've been speeding. You drive really carefully after that, and sometimes permanently. Usually just for a few miles, few days, but sometimes permanently. Anyway, he's looked great. 2 at-bats since coming back, 2 RBIs, home run last night, and then an RBI ground out tonight. Clay Holmes did a great job out of the pen tonight. And then the top of the 9th, the Yankees were in search of some insurance runs, and leave it up to Mr. Anthony Volpe.
That ball is high. It is far. It is gone. Anthony Volpe, a spectacular OG.
Still hate the home run call. Spectacular OG. I just spit all over my microphone. Anyway, 108 miles an hour off the bat. That made it 4-1. Biggest swing of the night. Say what you want about the kid, but he's hit some big home runs for this team. I can think of 2 of them that he hit to right field at Yankee Stadium. He hit one down the left field line in Toronto, and this one tonight. So great job for Anthony Volpe. He is still at 193 on the season, but he's got 9 home runs, and he's been productive. He's got 26 RBI. So he's on pace for about a 25 home run, about a 70 RBI season. He's not stealing as much because he's not getting on base as much. Seems like most of his hits lately have been home runs. Tonight was a great opportunity to steal. He picked up a 2-out single. Gleyber Torres was at the plate, but Gleyber didn't give him a chance to steal. He popped up on the second pitch, and that was that. Wandy Peralta walked the leadoff man in the 9th, but promptly picked him off. And the Yankees win 2 out of 3.
Ball game over. Yankees win. Yankees win.
Great tag by Rizzo.
You're a winner.
So a very good road trip for the Yankees. They win 4 out of 6. A lot of belt candidates tonight. Obviously, well, not really that many, but Volpe with the big home run and a base hit. Cabrera with the clutch pinch hit RBI, even if it wasn't out. And then Domingo Germán, the belt winner tonight. Fantastic performance. Mike to AC Merch says he is on Team Volpe. Ian says that's one of the reasons that he can't complain about Anthony Volpe. He's already hit more home runs than he would have expected for the season, and the batting average will go up in due time, and I 100% agree. And he's shown that he has the clutch gene. Is he going to come through every time? No, probably not. But he's hit some big home runs. I tell you what, Giancarlo Stanton's double was huge tonight, too. People are going to forget about that, but that one hopper off the Morton sign, he swings the bat really, really well in this ballpark. We've seen a lot of talk about whether or not the Yankees will go after Shohei Ohtani. I proposed that, maybe Ohtani would play left field, but I think that's kind of locked in for Dominguez. So the only way that the Yankees get Ohtani is if Stanton goes elsewhere. If he keeps swinging the bat as well as he is, L.A. could be interested. That's where he's from. I think L.A. is going to end up signing Shohei Ohtani, though. I think that's kind of one of the reasons that they kind of held back with some of their spending this winter. But Twiggy says, props to whoever's checking Domingo's hands. Love it. And Dr. Hitskin says, like to see Volpe's average with runners in scoring position. I don't have it in front of me, but if somebody wants to pull that up, I'm sure it's listed on, Baseball Reference or something like that. Tonight probably won't be included because there's a delay. But, yeah, I wanted to give a shout out. Parkson also says the Big G double was absolutely huge. Without that double, maybe the Yankees don't go ahead. And that might have changed the belt outcome, though. If Volpe had hit a go-ahead home run in the 9th inning, that would have changed things. Bernie Madoff investigating tips says, I think Shohei goes to the Rangers. Well, the Rangers have been very willing to spend. A couple years ago, it was Corey Seager and Marcus Semien. This year, Jacob deGrom. I don't know about that Jacob deGrom contract, man. I don't know how you give 5 years to a guy who cannot stay on the field. I mean, and he's had trouble staying on the field this year. So he left a game against the Yankees. So I don't know, but they're definitely willing to spend. Parkson says, wonder how much rosin Domingo is using. Just the right amount.
Absolutely. Hey.
Jake Block says, do you think we will take the Sox series, also back-to-back Sox in series? So the Yankees play the White Sox next, and then I think they got the Red Sox next weekend on Sunday Night Baseball. And what's interesting is the Yankees don't have any Monday games all through June. They've got all of June off on Mondays. Weird. I think that happened last year in July. It's just a weird scheduling kink. Tabor Talk says, Holmes looking good. He got the win. He is 4-2 with a 2.84. Nice job by Mr. Clay Holmes. He's got that wicked demon sinker working. Let's go through and watch some of these highlights together. There's not a ton of highlights because one is a low-scoring game, and two, it was a ESPN game, and the highlights are kind of held back till after the game, so you kind of have to hunt around for them. So shout out to Frankie Baseball. This was the line drive single from Volpe, 108 off the bat. Just absolutely smoked. Great swing. He keeps the hips in. You see? The feet were parallel on that. He turns the hips afterwards. So maybe he's coming out of it. Great throw behind the plate by Higgy there to nail the runner. And then Higgy brings in a run with a ground out. Small ball, baby. That's what we need. This was the slider that Giancarlo ripped off the Morton sign. One hop off the wall. I tell you what, a little higher and that ball's gone. 93-mile-an-hour fastball, and Oswaldo just gets the bat to it, and then 95 down the middle of the plate. Pitcher knew it. Volpe knew it. Everybody knew it. Goodbye. Spike Lee knew it. He loved it. He loved it. All right, let's take a look at this box score here. So the Yankees only got 5 hits tonight. Dodgers only got 4 hits. Hits by Stanton, Bowers, Kiner-Falefa, and 2 hits from Anthony Volpe. On the pitching side, I mean, pretty routine. Domingo Germán was extremely efficient, throwing strikes. Clay Holmes, filthy, a couple of strikeouts, and Peralta with a matching 2.84 ERA. So you got a lot to like on this trip for the New York Yankees. All right, I said I wanted to talk about how you guys feel overall about the team right now. And, we can look at some stats, some baseball savant type stuff if you want. We can just kind of spend the rest of the podcast, 5 or 7 or 10 minutes, just taking your comments and, seeing how you feel. James Bryn says Freeman regrets not coming to New York. You know what? I'm really happy with Anthony Rizzo. Now, Freeman would have been a great ad. I wouldn't have been upset if we signed Freeman, but, I love Anthony Rizzo. And Anthony Rizzo was instrumental in Aaron Judge coming back to the Yankees. So just that, I think, makes bringing Rizzo back worth it. Alex says, I missed the super chat. Let me see if I can scroll back up and find it. Try and hang on to these until we get to this portion of the show. Alex says, got to give it to this team. They have shown resilience given all the injuries, and hopefully come October, we are healthy.
Bing.
Being healthy in October is crucial. Last year, the Benintendi injury killed us. The DJ LeMahieu injury killed us. Leon's feeling pretty good about the season so far. I feel good about June. The schedule lightens up in June. And I feel like the Yankees are going to do some serious damage. Now, they didn't make up any room or any ground on the Rays today. The Rays beat the Red Sox 6-2. Red Sox now 30-29. They have slipped into last place. Blue Jays won. They've climbed out of the cellar. They beat the Mets. They are 33-27. Let's see what the Orioles have done today. They won 8-3 over the Giants. They are 37-22. Orioles are underrated, I think. Fire in the console says, not feeling great, still too many injuries. Well, to be fair, we got some guys coming back, with Stanton and Donaldson coming back. The roster is mostly healthy. Obviously, Nestor going down hurts. We're going to probably call up Brito. Johnny Brito, to be honest, is a wild card because sometimes he's terrific and sometimes he is just awful. You might get 6 innings and 1 run, or you might get, 3 or 4 outs out of him and 6 runs. You just never know. Parkson says the Yankees' off days in June that we mentioned will help with all of their injuries. We got to hope so. Also worth noting that Carlos Rodon is working his way back. He's going to be throwing more and more bullpens, throwing to hitters. Then you get the sim game, and then off to a rehab assignment. He's probably going to have a full month of rehab, probably make 4 to 5 starts in the minor leagues. And then he'll probably be back, I don't know, maybe I'd say mid-July would be my guesstimate. Chase Zarowski says, Aaron Hicks is hitting .455 with the Orioles. Let's see if it lasts.
A what?
Yeah, I didn't see that coming. Michael Anderson says, Herman has been our number 2 starter this year. If you look at the stats, you're right. I think he's got the second lowest ERA. I think Nestor is at about 5, if I'm not mistaken, because he's had some tough outings. Herman is at 3.69, and Cole's at 2.82. I don't know what Severino's at, but he's only made 3 starts. So, we'll see how he shapes up. He had a tough one his last time out. If he can have 4 or 5 good starts in a row and really get that confidence going, I think you can look for him to be a dynamite pitcher down the stretch. He's just got to rebound from that tough outing, get the confidence back, because his stuff was phenomenal first 2 times out. Just phenomenal. Alex says that Trevino has been quiet. He has been quiet, but he's not in there for his offense. He's in there to play defense. He's a platinum glove winning catcher. I just want him healthy and behind the dish. Val in NY says Yanks need to go on a decent winning streak to gain some ground, and I 100% agree.
I wholeheartedly agree.
Jack Rebus says that Clark Schmidt has been pitching pretty well lately. That's definitely worth noting. He has begun to put it together the last couple of starts, especially last time out. He was fantastic. His stuff was, wicked last time, and he's not a guy that has ever really impressed me, but last time out, he was throwing strikes. He had good cut. He had the curveball working fantastic. The sweeper, which to me it's a slurve, but everything was working. So we'll see if he can put it together. Like we said, schedule getting easier. That should help him out a little bit.
Game over, man.
Danny says, with Nestor going on the IL, maybe we bring up Peraza. No, they're going to call up a pitcher because they're down a starting pitcher. Wayne says, what's become of Schmidt? We haven't seen him lately. Let me pull up his stats.
Most impressive.
I'm going to pull up Clark Schmidt's stats right here, and then we will share the screen if we can. You know what? I've got my button's not working. He is 2-5 with a 5.01 ERA, 55 innings, 65 strikeouts, 1.51 WHIP. So not great, but his last time out, he went 5 2/3 innings of shutout ball against Seattle, which is pretty good hitting ball club. 3 hits, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. Time before that, he went 5 innings with 1 run allowed against Baltimore, who we know is, having a great year. So, hey, look, he's turning it around. We root for the jersey. Even though we've been tough on the guy, and I'm admittedly not a Clark Schmidt fan, I want to be a Clark Schmidt fan. I want him to pitch great. I want him to dominate. If he goes 15-0 in the second half, you won't find a person in the world happier than me. Joe Mann says, don't understand all the rest days for Stanton and JD since they returned. These two need to play every day. They can rest on Mondays. I had an interesting comment. I want to say maybe on Twitter. I can't remember if it was a YouTube comment. Maybe it was, I think it was Samantha with the little 7. Samantha to the power 7 on Twitter. I think that's who it was. Said, has anyone looked into whether or not all these rest days that the Yankees give their players actually prevents injuries? Maybe we're thinking about it backwards. Maybe all the rest days are a contributor to the injuries. Maybe it's backwards. Maybe the more you play, the more your muscles are used to playing. And when you sit and take a day off, you get that rest. Maybe it causes you to not be as loose the next day. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but I thought it was an interesting theory, and I thought it was worth mentioning. Parkson says that Holmes is much better as a setup man. Brett Deutsch says Schmidt's ERA in May was under 4. Hey, worth noting. And Random Stuff says toes crossed for Judge. Look, I'm not going to lie. I stubbed my toe today, and it hurts. Hitting your toe, especially if you're running full speed, has got to be the worst. I don't know if I should show you guys my toe. I've got a very large, big toe. It's like, so I wear a size 13 shoe. But it's not because my feet are exceptionally large. I should probably wear about an 11.5 shoe. But my big toe is about an inch longer than the rest of my toes. And so I stub it on fucking everything. And my wife is always making fun of me because I'll bang it on something and I'll yell, ah! And she goes, oh, your big, dumb, stupid toe. That's just kind of a thing we say. Anyway, good night for the Yankees. Great road trip. Thanks to everybody who joined. Day off tomorrow. And we will be back with a recap of the White Sox game on Tuesday. Hey, quick announcement. So you guys know that I had Todd Frazier on not too long ago on this show. And Todd Frazier is on the Foul Territory podcast. He's a contributor. It's got Scott Braun and Eric Kratz. It's one of the up-and-coming baseball podcasts. They peaked at number 2 on the charts. YouTube, they're still kind of growing. They have hired me. I'm going to be going to work full-time, helping them and helping the media company that distributes them to grow their YouTube channel. So I would love it. I would absolutely love it if everybody who's still watching this video, after we sign off, would go over and subscribe to the Foul Territory YouTube channel. Follow them on social media, on Instagram, on Twitter. And I want to say it will not affect NYY Recaps, but I will have a day job again. I'll be working to kind of help drive their YouTube channel, kind of help grow the content, create more evergreen content. It's the type of role that I got into podcasting for. Like, this is the type of thing I've always wanted to do my whole life. Since I've always wanted to be in like media, broadcasting, that type of stuff. And I believe sincerely that podcasting is the future. and getting a chance to work with these guys is going to be awesome. I start in a couple of weeks, so I'm going to be taking some time off, but I'm going to keep doing the podcast. I'm just going to be kind of lazy during the day. But later this month, I'll be working with the Foul Territory guys. So do me a favor. If the mods want to share something in the chat, it'll be a link. Just share a link to the Foul Territory page. It would mean a lot to me if we could take a large portion of this following and shift it over to Foul Territory as well, because those guys have something special, and I'm going to work my tail off to make sure that it gets huge. So big things coming, guys. I appreciate all the support. NYY Recaps, #1 podcast for Yankees Postgames on YouTube. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you on Tuesday night.
Ball game over.
Most impressive.